Welcome to the SEC Unfiltered channel, folks. In this second round, first session SEC tournament reaction. I mean, what can we say, folks? Phenomenal second round, first session. I mean, if that's even a sneak peek of what we're getting tonight with Mississippi State, Missouri, and Kentucky, Oklahoma, I mean, sign me up anyways. But wow, I don't think we can repeat that. Between Ole Miss stunning Arkansas at the end. I mean, Texas A&M. It speaks for itself. Double overtime thriller. Both teams answering the bell. I tweeted about Texas answering the bell, but both teams really kept answering the bell when it was required. Texas's season still rolls on. We'll talk about if the Horns are in right now or if they still have some work to do. Actually, I need to even look at it right now. See if the net rankings have officially updated to see where the Horns are. Again, reacting as you are 41st. Still says right now. So. Yeah, but they haven't been updated yet because they're 19 and 14. They still have them at 8 and 14. So net hasn't been updated. It'll be at the end of the night. But still, what a win. Let's start with that one. It just finished. It's fresh on everybody's mind. Texas getting the 94-89 win. The Longhorns improved to 19 and 14. They finished now. They're 8 conference wins after yesterday's win and today 8 conference wins overall. Remember the NCAA tournament committee, folks. They don't look at this as like a conference record. They look at your 30-plus games as it is. I mean, that's what they do. They look at it. They look at it as it is. I mean, they're not, hey, these are 18 conference games. This is what it is. But, man, what a win. Had to have it. We'll talk about a little more season extending, but specifically this game, 94-89. Texas felt really controlled a lot of this game. It was up 6 at half, kind of let A&M come back in the second half. A&M outscored them by 6 in the second half overtime. Texas 7-21-16 and they combine. But Texas shoots 43% from the field, 40% from beyond the arc. Texas A&M 34% from the field, 38% from beyond the arc. A&M ultimately out-rebounded Texas here, 53-40. But again, A&M, a lot of that was on the offensive side of the ball, 20-9. And A&M, they are a great rebounding team, but it's really like anticipatory rebounding. They know the select shots they're going to get. Defensively, they're not as good, which is random to me. 13 turnovers for Texas A&M, only 6 for Texas. And remember that stat, folks. That is why Texas won the basketball game. It was deep in the first half. It was deep in the first half. Texas had like 1 turnover at one point. I forget the exact minute mark, but it was at some point 1 minute left. I mean, unbelievable. That's the winning stat right there from across the board there. Largest lead for Texas was 9. For Texas A&M was 5. Fouls, about the same, 26 for Texas to 25 for A&M. Points in the paint, 32 for Texas. That's another reason I tweeted about that. Turnovers and how well they played in the paint. Outscoring Texas A&M, a team who prides themselves of being in the paint. Pharrell Payne, Henry Coleman, come on, we can name them. Anderson Garcia, Jace Carter gets his hands dirty down there. 32-20. In a front court, I thought at times, and I'll give him credit, I was kind of on his ass a little bit in the regular season and in non-conference play. Caden Shedrick, the Virginia transfer, Texas Longhorns fans, he stepped up today, especially at the free throw line. He's gotten more physical as league play goes on. So I've been hard on Rodney Terry, but I do want to give him a gentleman's golf clap for that, for improving that kid, getting him better, getting tougher. When Arthur Kaluma's healthy, it's a serviceable front court now. Thin, but serviceable. I thought it was a tremendous weak spot heading into conference play. From that perspective. Going to the box score here, folks, looking at it just from the overall perspective. All 5 starters in double figures for the Horns. 20 from Trey Johnson. You had 13 from Jordan Pope. Tremont Mark, I thought, was really good. 15, 12 for Arthur Kaluma. Caden Shedrick, like I mentioned, 14. Free throw line, he was 10 for 10, folks, 100%. I mean, that's winning basketball game, especially for a guy plays in the front court. I mean, you don't see that a lot. He stepped up big. Then you had Chendall Weaver. I believe ultimately fouled out, didn't he? Yeah, he fouled out. Had 10 points and had 6 boards. So he had some sneaky kind of blue-collar points, as some teams like to call them, as well. For A&M, 29 from Wade Taylor, 5 for 18, 2 of 7 by the arc. Not an overly efficient night, but still 29 points. It's A&M's game. Again, we played 2 overtime, folks. So when you say A&M had 4 out of 5 starters in double figures too. Texas had all 5, like I mentioned. I mean, you did play an extra 10 minutes of basketball. So, I mean, you played 50 minutes instead of 40 like most teams. So, yeah, it makes sense. Like I said, though, 4 out of 5 starters for A&M, 29 from Wade Taylor. Henry Coleman, 10. Anderson Garcia, 13. Manny Obaseki, 17. And Zurich Phelps was fine with 8 off the bench, but he slowed down a little bit. But, man, just the back and forth, both teams answering the bell, cutting it to 1. Tying it, somebody getting an and one, missing a free throw, someone going on the other end, getting an and one, making a free throw to tie it. it was just the back and forth. I mean, that was a phenomenal basketball game. That was a phenomenal basketball game. Again, I'm refreshing the net. I don't think they're going to update it till we're done tonight. Yeah, they still have them 18 and 14. I mean, look, Texas fans, do not get me wrong. I could easily be wrong. Been wrong a million times. Take this with the greatest heart. I still think you need one more. I think tomorrow's going to be tough. I just do. I think there's going to be a bid stealer somewhere where it's going to force Texas to go get this, go get one more. I just think it is. I hate saying that. I personally would probably put you in just because you have 8 conference overall wins now. You're what? What are you now? 8 and 12 technically in your 20 conference games that you played. You play 18 regular season. You played 2 so far. I think that should really matter from that perspective. I would give Texas the nod because I've watched a ton of college basketball, as I'm sure a ton of y'all have. In Texas on a night-to-night basis, yeah, they're in that 10 seed line to me. I mean, if I was a 7 seed, I wouldn't want to see Texas on a given day because guys like Trey Johnson, ultimately, he can do his thing. I think he's the best individual player from an NBA perspective that we've seen in this league since Brandon Miller 2 years ago. You got Tremont Mark, who, I mean, he's a journeyman in this league, but at phenomenal programs. Houston, Arkansas, now at Texas. He's seeing these guys in the tournament's good. Caden Shedrick, like I mentioned, the front court, I think, is improved. I would put them in. I think those 8 conference wins overall should mean something. But again, remember that the committee doesn't approach it like that. It's just your full resume. I get a feeling they're going to need one more. I hate to say that, but I feel like the Horns are going to need one more. And that starts tomorrow afternoon in the same time slot against the Tennessee Volunteers, who they kept showing were there scouting Texas. I mean, man, what a great game, though. I mean, you just got to kind of soak that in. Texas, again, from a pride standpoint, you went 2-1 against your biggest rival this year in epic fashion, both of them coming from a big deficit to win at home at the Moody Center. Then you won that double overtime thriller to extend your season. But the last time Tennessee and Texas played, Tennessee got the 74-70 win in Austin. Remember, Rick Barnes' return back to the ATX. So we look forward to that one tomorrow. Texas' season extends, folks. They extend it. I just think they need one more. But, man, I would love to see Trey Johnson in the NCAA tournament. I think we would really miss out on that if we didn't get it. But Horns live to see another day, face Tennessee tomorrow. How about them Ole Miss Rebels, folks? Getting the 83-80 win. It looked like they were coming out of the game. I mean, they were up 42-34 at half. But they let a 15-point deficit slip right through their fingers very quickly. So you're like, all right, here we go. All right, Ole Miss is going to go pull away. Ole Miss is going to go pull away. This will be an easy win. Arkansas is already limited roster-wise. They're banged up. I tweeted it today. They look like the Toon squad in the first Space Jam, if you remember, when they're all injured from the Monstars on the bench and they show them they're on like a respiratory ventilator and so it's obviously a comedy joke. I mean, that's what I feel like with Arkansas. You had multiple people go down with cramps. The dude Thero, I think, is out for the year. They're thin. Ole Miss ultimately outlasted them, though, 83-80 on Ole Miss's last possession, a big shot from Sean Padula, who I think was 1 for 6 going into that shot, or 1 for 5 from beyond the arc going into that shot, but made a big one. It's kind of what Sean Padula is, just kind of a gamer. But Ole Miss shoots 46% from the field, 33% from beyond the arc. Hold on 1 second. Stay with me, folks. I got to get this. Sorry, folks. Computer. Sorry. Sorry. Just popped up. Didn't think I needed it. All right. Sorry, folks. Where were we? But no, Ole Miss getting the gutsy win there. Sean Padula just not kind of a gamer. He's a gamer, folks. Big time results. For him, 46% for the field for the Rebels, 33% from beyond the arc. Wasn't a great 8 for 24. Wasn't awesome. A thin Arkansas squad, 46% from beyond the arc, and a 3 from the field, 31% from beyond the arc. Arkansas wasn't great from the free throw line, 65%, 75% for the Rebels. Let's see, 38-32. Arkansas out rebounds. Ole Miss, I think, is the second smallest. When I mean smallest, shortest team in the league. So there's a few times they've out-rebounded teams this year. Let's see what else. Anything. Again, I'm reacting to this just as y'all. Again, Ole Miss's biggest lead was 15. Arkansas got it up to 8 in the second half. Turnovers, 15 for Arkansas, 11 for Ole Miss. I mean, this was kind of you felt like Ole Miss should have been up by double digits in the first half, let Arkansas hang around. And it's felt like this whole tournament, there's always been a team that's kind of had a lead and they come out and like the team with the deficit comes out and punches the team with the lead. It's getting a little comfortable in the mouth. That's just kind of how the league is this year. You can't smell the roses for any minute. Even if you're up 15, that can get cut down. And Arkansas had an 8-point lead in the second half, folks, after being down by 18. Wild. For the Arkansas Razorbacks, you're in the NCAA tournament. I mean, Cal acted like he didn't really want to be there the other day, but had opportunities to win this game. Trevon Brazile, late foul that he should not have committed that kept Ole Miss in it. And then he has a chance. They got fouled late, and he misses both of them. And that's when Padula goes and hits the three off that, and Arkansas throws a last-second heave. But Arkansas's in the NCAA tournament. I think they're going to be in that, 9 to 10 range. Again, they played really well in February, and that got them to this point now. Give them credit. Again, did they underachieve a little bit probably on how much they invested from a dollar standpoint, value standpoint in this roster? Yeah, they underachieved. But there's something to be said to how they finished to the season to get themselves in the NCAA tournament. So I want to give them that. But for Ole Miss, 19 points from Malik Dia. He seems like the defensive liability at times. If you watch enough Ole Miss games, it's either Chris Beard or one of his teammates is just getting into his ass. Just getting the red ass off Malik Dia defensively, just being lost, not communicating, whatever it may be. But it's always like going into a media timeout or a timeout. Someone is in his face playing palms up defense, like being like, what have you been doing? And he looks confused. That's got to change for him. I feel like I see that consistently. 19 points for him, though, 8 boards, 10 points. Sean Padula wasn't awesome. 1 for 7. I said it. He was 1 for 6 going into that, or 0 for 6 going into that. Finished at 1 for 7. Man, 12 points for Matthew Morrell, 7 for Dre Davis, 17. Juju Murray was good. And then Devon Barnes was good as well, 11. He shot 2 for 3 from beyond the arc, so he was really good. Not much from Brakefield. I mean, only combined today, he had 4 points. Morrell, I said, I think they kind of drive the boat of the team. It's always going to be solid because what Padula brings to the team and what Juju Murray brings to the team. But the ceiling of this team is what Matthew Morrell and Jamin Brakefield do for this team. And they combined for 16 today. This team, if they're going to want to get to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament and to have a chance to beat Auburn tomorrow, I think you're going to have a big game from both of those guys, at least combined, like 20 plus combined from those guys. They're going to have a big game for sure. Ole Miss moves on to face Auburn. Like I mentioned, Arkansas, they just to go home and get off their feet. It's probably the best thing, a blessing in disguise. It probably really was. And they had to play Auburn. I think it probably would have ended tomorrow because, again, was it Billy Richmond late was getting cramps? I mean, Arkansas is just a very thin roster that is banged up. Big Z's had the lower back issue the whole time. Like I mentioned, Adu Thero's out. They just need to go get off their feet and play that kind of under the radar, sneaky underdog. That again, I think a lot of teams are going to respect them. I don't think you want to see them if you're like that 7 or 8 seed right there. It's going to be a tough out. But again, best thing for Arkansas is go get off your feet, get rested there, and get ready for next week. For Ole Miss, the show moves on to Auburn, and you're 0-2 against them this year. First game in Oxford, you had chances. But Auburn shot really well from beyond the arc. You lost 92-82 at the Pavilion, and then you took a loss earlier at Auburn, got out of hand real fast at about like the 12-minute mark of the first half. 106-76, a 30-point loss at Neville Arena. So third time's a charm. It's going to be a tough team. It's tough to beat a good team like Ole Miss, who's going to be in that 5-6 seed range in the NCAA tournament twice. It just is what it is. Just like if Alabama plays Kentucky tomorrow. Alabama's beat Kentucky twice. It's going to be tough to beat a team 3 times. Just is. Good basketball teams. But I think Ole Miss had a better shot than Arkansas to knock Auburn out. I'm really intrigued to see how Auburn comes out tomorrow. I think they're going to come out with a physical style. I saw Janai Broom in them. And they say, hey, what do you think about Bruce Pearl thinking y'all were not the toughest team this last week against Alabama and Texas A&M, and y'all got out-rebounded? He's like, it's the truth, but that's going to change. So I think Auburn's going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. Ole Miss is going to have to match that intensity because you have an Auburn team. It's almost like a backup dog, or for Auburn's case, a cat, if we're going to use it for that perspective, who's pissed off and kind of desperate. So you're going to have a desperate Auburn team who's already beat you twice. So you're going to have to bring that energy early in this early game if you're going to want to have a chance to beat Auburn. I think Ole Miss is going to have the momentum in the first half to really get this thing done. I don't see them coming from behind. Like if Auburn takes control early, I don't see Ole Miss coming from behind from that perspective. Let's look at some of the comments here, folks. Wayne says the Horns got to be in. I'm with you. Just from some of the bracketologists I talked to, some of the guys, I think they need another one. I think going in today, they needed 2. I think they need this one. They need one more tomorrow. maybe if some of these potential projected bid stealers don't win, Texas could sneak in. They'd probably be in Dayton. Probably put Dayton in the play-in game on Tuesday or Wednesday, fighting for like an 11 seed maybe. But I think they need one more win. Daniel Longoria, Texas owns Ags in football and basketball and soon to be baseball. It may be true. They may be getting the brooms out. I mean, I know A&M won one game in basketball, but still. Maybe true. Thank you for listening. AJ putting his horns up. Our team is finally healthy, AJ says. Only the beginning. Dangerous team. You got some playmakers. Gutsy, hard fought W. C. Jenkins 313 says, I agree with you, buddy. It was a fun basketball game. Corrections 101. Boomer, ATM, you had one job. Or A&M, you had one job. OU, Corrections 101. OU is going to beat Kentucky tonight. Bet. I did take the points. I got it at 6.5. I could see that. Again, you have a playmaker like Trey Johnson, Jeremiah Fears for Oklahoma. I could definitely see that. I'm fired up to see the matchup. Jeremiah Fears, Lamont Butler for Kentucky, one of the best on-ball defenders in the league up there was Akai Ziegler. That'll be a fun matchup. Again, we had a intense, physical, chippy one not too long ago, about 2 weeks ago in Norman with Otega Owe and Jalen Moore and them. So that'll be fun. And then LJ says 7 quad 1 wins for Texas. How can they not be in? I just think they need one more, man. I just think that 6 win mark in the SEC, and I hate it. I think that, again, I don't think they keep counting these wins in the SEC tournament like they do in the regular season. That's just my theory. That's what I'm getting. Don't take it to the grave, folks, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope they don't need one more. I want to see Texas in the tournament. I don't want to see the travesty of not seeing Trey Johnson in the NCAA tournament because I think he's going to be a big-time player in the NBA, maybe for the Pelicans right down the road. But I still think if I'm being realistic or objective, I think they need one more. But I hope I'm wrong, and I've been wrong before, folks. But we go on 17 minutes, folks. And before we get out of here, folks, got to get to our title sponsor. Remember, guys, this SEC basketball reaction is brought to you by our new title sponsor, our proud title sponsor, FanDuel. This bracket season, FanDuel is letting you make the call because right now new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to bet on everything from clutch shots to last-second heartbreaks and even who's cutting down the nets. If you've been waiting to join, there's no better time. There's tourney action almost every day, and FanDuel is the amazing bet types like spreads, totals, game props, and so much more. So visit FanDuel.com/SECU and get in on the college hoops action all tourney long. Must be 21 plus and present in select states for 18 and older and present in DC. First online roll money wager, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable. Bonus bets expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpline.ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. As these new ad reads, you stumble across them a little bit. You get into a rhythm of some of these you have for a while. FanDuel sends us another one. Hey, proud title sponsor. I will read it, and it's the March Madness one, folks, so it gets me jacked. But, guys, 2 phenomenal games in the first session of round 2 in Nashville at the 2025 SEC tournament. Ole Miss, last-second shot from Sean Padula gets it done against Arkansas. Double overtime throw. The Horns survive. They move on. I think they need one more. A&M heads home. Probably be around a 4 or 5 seed in the NCAA tournament next week. And then we got 2 big ones tonight. Mississippi State, Missouri. Not a lot of seed implications, but Mississippi State's going to want to avenge because the last time Missouri came to Starkville and put the belt to you-know-what. Caleb Girl, watch out for him tonight. Josh Hubbard. You got Oklahoma. We talked about that one a little bit. Oklahoma, Kentucky, big one. Who moves on to play Alabama tomorrow? Jeremiah Fears, Lamont Butler. That should be a phenomenal matchup, guys. But for Dave Shumate, remember, guys, this proud SEC basketball reaction was brought to you by our buddies over at FanDuel. And guys, but if you haven't already, there's 600 people of you listening here right now, or 600 being here right now. I know you're all not subscribed. I know you're not all subscribed. Go subscribe. It's easy, guys. Don't be lazy. Go do it. And again, we're going to have an NCAA tournament bracket challenge. We'll be giving out some free gear as well. So go to the SEC Unfiltered Twitter account, Instagram account, and go get registered for that. Selection Sunday, this Sunday, folks. But for Dave Shumate, I will see you later tonight or probably on Friday morning at this point. I mean, the Oklahoma-Kentucky game probably won't tip till 11 p.m. Eastern. So I'll see you on Friday morning.